I can't even talk about the villains because that's a spoiler.
Wait, no, no. There's that first villain who's on the boat. He doesn't really count for anything, right?
He doesn't really
I
count
mean, he
for...
shows up. I forget his name.
Yeah,
Apparently, he's
exactly. Like, you...
Aaron Zemo. I thought he was at first because he had like yellow and purple, but nope, he's not.
He's
I
not
wish he
Zemo.
was, but he wasn't.
Like, if he was Zemo, he would have been important.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. I hope the next movie is him.
I hope Zemo makes an appearance too. Because
Now that
seriously,
would be amazing.
this franchise needs Zemo. Okay, so I'm guessing we should go into the spoilers now because that'll be easier to talk about. Okay, so spoiler alert, it will be on the screen the entire time that we're giving away spoilers, like in giant text. Spoilers.
And we'll be giving out free food
Free
with these spoilers.
free food.
No, not free food. They can't afford food, and we can't afford food, so it's not food.
Okay, like anyway, if you don't want to hear it, you have the option to click away. Okay, the spoilers that like we're already spoiled by the trailer. Like the identity of the Winter Soldier is Sucky Bucky. Okay,
I like Bucky.
but still, like the trailer already spoiled that, so like it's already been spoiled by the trailer. So is it really a major spoiler or a minor spoiler for us?
Well,
Like for
seeing as I had known Bucky was Winter Soldier way before this movie was even announced, way before Captain America, First Avenger even came out, it's not really a spoiler.
like, but comic book
So I'll
fans,
accidentally bring it up in conversation, and then
people
certain people
who,
will get angry at me. I'll be like, "Oh, that was a spoiler."
yeah, but
Sorry.
still, comic book fans and people who watch the shows, like the animated shows, would know this ahead of time, but people who are only see the movies would not know this, and the trailer already gave it away a ton.
Yeah, no, not really. I don't think so.
Like all the trailers, like it had a shot of his face in there somewhere. Like all the promos, a shot of his face.
Yeah, no, but they had like it covered up with a mask. You can really tell it was him.
Like, but they
Not
showed the
fully.
unmasked shots.
Plus, I took my mom there, and she didn't know who. She didn't recognize that it was Bucky.
Did she not read the comics?
Yeah, she's not really into the comic books and stuff,
My
but
point.
she loved the movie. Even my mom liked this movie. How don't you like this?
Because I hated it.
My mom hates movies with action in them. She always falls asleep during them, but she was wide awake for this one.
That's strange.
I know. I think it was because this movie was awesome.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I love this movie. It's a great movie. I recommend it to everyone that hasn't seen it yet.
I hate this movie.
But that's
Please
just my opinion, Corey.
save your money for the
Your
Amazing
reviews.
Spider-Man 2.
Well, what's your opinion, you guys? Because it doesn't matter what we think. It matters what you, the viewers, think.
Okay, so
Even
another
if
spoiler.
me or Corey thinks you're wrong.
Okay, so another spoiler I should talk about is one that angered me to the core. Is that the Winter Soldier, despite being the title character, was not the main villain. Like,
Well, yeah.
he was only in the movie
I
for
think the reason that they named
15
it the
minutes.
Winter Soldier is because he's just there, you know? He's gonna be the setup character for the next Captain America movie.
He was just like a promo character.
Yeah, he's there to build the suspense. He's there to. He's basically, like they say in the movie, the ghost.
Yeah, so
He's
the
the
main
ghost of
villain, it wasn't the Winter Soldier who was only in the movie for 15 minutes. It wasn't Crossbones who was only in there for like...
Also, Winter Soldier was a cover up. He was a cover up for the. I believe we can talk about this now, right?
Yeah, we're in the spoiler
Hydra.
section.
Hydra's return.
Yeah, so Hydra has been like growing because of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's been inside S.H.I.E.L.D. like the entire time, and I can tell that this was like just something that they pulled out of their asses.
No, 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 no. Now, there are certain moments where you might think that, but I'm sure somewhere, even though I'm not really a comic book reader, but Q11 is, so I'd ask him later on. But I'm pretty sure this is taken from any kind of story, some kind of story from the comics.
If you know that comic, please comment below.
Yeah.
But anyway, this doesn't really add up because this is the organization that helped bring the Avengers together.
Well, like, they don't officially work with S.H.I.E.L.D. all the time. I imagine that the Avengers are always, separate from S.H.I.E.L.D. Like,
I know they are
Eleanor
separate
in
from.
Avengers
Just
or
half
Phase
of their
was.
members are Shield members. So, like, Hydra has been inside Shield. Dr. Pigface from the first movie was a computer, and
Yeah. Arnim Zola. Yeah, he was there. I've been waiting for them to bring him back.
like Arnim Zola, he was like some creepy robot guy with a face on his belly.
I like how Captain America like punches him in the face, and he's like, "Oh, where were we?"
He
And
just
then
has
he
another
pops
face
up on
right
another
there.
screen. He just starts trolling Captain America.
Like he breaks one screen, his face appears on the other screen.
Cut off one head, two more shall take its place.
Yeah, but still,
You see what I did there?
yeah, and like that senator guy from Iron Man 2, he's a Hydra member for some reason.
Yeah, I imagine he was. I mean, he hates Tony Stark. Only,
Well,
only Nazis hate Tony
but
Stark.
Tony did troll him a lot in the second Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ooh, we should talk about the thing with Nick Fury's wife.
But first, I thought I was going to talk about the actual main villain of this movie. And there's this like corporate business
His
guy.
name is Pierce.
I didn't even remember his name. How did Q remember it?
I remembered it because of Guy Pierce, and then I
Yeah,
remembered
Guy
Pierce.
Pearce.
Yeah.
He's named after the guy who played the Mandarin.
Yeah, of course. So I
So that's
remembered.
confusing. You have Guy Pearce playing the Mandarin, and then some guy named after the actor who played the Mandarin.
Yeah.
I did not like him. Like
Yeah, no, I didn't like him.
he was
But he
like
was evil. He was supposed to be not like. Who was he?
he wasn't interesting. Like
What character was he? I don't know what character he
he was that
was.
business guy.
It would have been cool if he had turned into like no, 'cause I can't say this because I don't really read the comics. I'm not gonna try to
He only
act
has
intelligent on this one.
he only has one scene with the main character, and it's a short scene. You just pass it over, and like he has no real motivations for what he's doing, so he wasn't memorable. He's just he was just a throwaway villain as the main villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of pissing me off that like it wasn't like Crossbones or the Winter Soldier as the main villain, but some bland business guy. So now on to Nick Fury's wife.
Oh boy! Ah, this part. So Nick Fury, he's all in, Captain America's apartment, his apartment of American Justice, the super cave of American Justice. The I'm trying to think of an awesome reference here. But yeah, he's there, and he's like, "Hey, I get kicked out of my house by my wife." He's like, "Your wife?" And I was like, in the theater, I was like, "Yeah." He kept asking her for his super suit.
That's
That's the only reason I wanted to bring that up.
kept asking for a super suit.
But yeah, then he gets shot to death.
Yeah, so Nick Fury fakes his death and like ends up not dead and like tries to use his death for his own needs.
Like, when are they gonna stop doing that? They did it with Coulson.
Actually,
They did it with Nick.
Actually, the difference with Coulson is that he actually did die and was brought back as a cyborg.
Wait, I thought that like he did some kind of weird brain realignment thing with him.
they used some cyborg technology.
Agents of Shield spoiler, I think that is.
Yeah, but this does have spoiler all over it, so might as well do that.
But we didn't warn them about Agents of Shield being involved. Well, that probably. Yeah, sorry. Hi.
Yeah.
So yeah, then he dies, and then he gets brought back, and then he dies again. We're
Again.
gonna get into that later, you know. But yeah, so the guy he's trying to get all these people to basically we haven't talked at all about the what their evil plan is.
Yeah, the evil plan is that they're going to use helicarriers to, like, target people who have some, like, criminal background or something. Like, anyone who's, like, a potential threat would get shot by these helicarriers.
Yeah.
And, like, we get some shots of, like, we get some target names from one of the Hydra agents. And, like, there's a reference to Bruce Banner and I think Doctor Strange as well.
Yes, there is. There's a huge reference there, and I cannot wait to see Doctor Strange. Hopefully.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but still, and we see Avengers Tower briefly.
Ooh, I love that. That was. I didn't notice that it was Avengers Tower. I forgot it wasn't like Stark Tower anymore, and then I realized, oh, that's Avengers Tower now.
I think it was pretty smart that Tony actually like thought that okay, it's not going to be Stark anymore. Like, let's just leave the A on it
It's
and
not
then
about
make it
me.
for the Avengers.
The
Like,
Avengers.
and then Thor and Hulk can come over and party.
What I like to think is that Tony's the only one who believes the Avengers can come back. Then all the others are just like, oh, hey, Tony, should let it go. Aliens aren't going to invade anymore.
Yeah, like so it shows that Tony Stark's a great leader.
Then they come back. Tony's all like, oh, crap, they're back. But no, wait, the next one's going to be Ultron!
Yeah, Ultron, I'm excited for that. Oh, and speaking of that, we should really talk about the after credit scene.
Ooh.
Okay, the after credit scene I really liked. It was Baron von Strucker. I think that's his real name. Like, yeah, Wolfgang von
Yes,
Strucker.
that was him!
Yeah, and he has Loki's scepter in a secret Hydra lab. And then, like, we cut to him looking in at the cells of Magneto's children, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. And
He's not going to be pleased about that at all.
yeah, and that I'm really excited for. Like, that was a good scene, but it was directed by Joss Whedon, too. Yeah, so that actually excited me even more for Age of Ultron. And, like, but the 2 hour wait to that scene wasn't worth it.
We need to talk about what happens afterwards. So, S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Okay,
they don't
so
just take down Hydra from S.H.I.E.L.D. Captain America's like, I'm calling shots now. All of S.H.I.E.L.D. is corrupt. It's all got to go.
yeah,
So they
so
take down all of
Rogers,
S.H.I.E.L.D. It's done. Don't know how they're going to continue Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but, you know.
like maybe they continue Shield in spirit. Like, so anyway,
Like,
Rogers like
we're a
exposes Hydra.
splinter group from S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, so Shield has its helicarriers blown up, and like Nick
Along
Fury,
with the helicarriers goes S.H.I.E.L.D.
Nick
Didn't
Fury
crash the.
fakes his death.
Now, what do you think Hawkeye is gonna walk in there like? He's gonna fly up to like their headquarters. He's gonna be like, "Oh, what the heck
Where
happened?"
was Hawkeye in this movie?
Oh, well, he was in a picture actually. I think
He
he was in a
was?
picture with. Yeah, remember when he was telling him about the wings, Falcon?
Oh, it's
It
one of those
was
one things that you just like glance over and you'll miss it.
yeah.